Hey everybody, my name is Jenny and welcome to Veritable Volatility. Please get excited for Gold Minus by Commodity. This is the third scent by Commodity I've reviewed on this channel thus far, and let me tell you something. It's a real good one. I love it so much. If you're new to Veritable Volatility, we have basically two rating systems. The first will be the generalized review, in which there are the categories, the scent, the longevity / sillage, the mood, and then finally the art / symbolism. 4 categories in total. And then sort of within the symbolism category of that one, there's another rating system, so systemception. It's my Realgar stars rating system. And if you don't know, Realgar stars is basically a scale which assesses how arsenic mayhem a perfume is. Arsenic mayhem is my little persona. She releases music and stuff. She has her own channel, Instagram. It's linked in the description if you care. Yeah, it's pretty egocentric of me, but you know what? I love making these videos, and if you don't care, you can click off. Alright, so for the first category of the generalized review, we have the scent. What does this smell like? What do I get mostly from this perfume? What I get the most from the scent is the vanilla. Actually, when I first got it, it wasn't really macerated fully, so I had to, not a really long time, maybe about 2 weeks, and it got to this point where I could detect more ISO-E Super, the ISO-E Super, and the sandalwood, and also the nutmeg. There's like a tiny bit of patchouli in there, but you have to really think about it in order to just smell it. Let me read you the notes because I forgot to do that. On the top, it's vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. In the middle, it's vanilla again, ISO-E Super. And in the base, it's nutmeg, saffron, and patchouli. I guess I get a little bit of saffron too. I get that like sort of Baccarat Rouge edge to it. I don't really know how to describe it. Like that cloud Ariana Grande / Baccarat Rouge, like sort of like fluffiness. I think that comes from the saffron because they all have saffron in them. Well, cloud doesn't, but F you. Yeah, if you find that, because when I first got it, it smelled like absolutely nothing. I sprayed it on and then it went away in 2 seconds. I got maybe like a slight tinge of vanilla and then everything went away. I was very disappointed. But you know, I let it macerate for 2 weeks and it was all good. It's such a fluffy and airy scent, and it smells cold. Even though, like, you'd think, since this is sort of a gourmand scent, it would smell nice and warm and be perfect for the holidays and stuff, but no. At least with the personal version, it smells cold to me. It embodies the frigid temperatures of winter. It's a wintry vanilla. Fragrantica didn't say this, but on the Commodity website, this is listed as having juniper berries, and I think it comes from that. It just smells like the outdoors during winter. Something, you know, sweet is coming in from the distance. It might be like somebody making something in their house in the frigid air. And it smells sort of like molecular and synthetic in the same sense as cold air is like. Yeah, so I just get a huge vibe of winter with this. It's really quite something special to me. This is the vision I'm getting. You ready? I wrote this down. I wrote, imagine an angel floating off the ground. You can see her feet slowly rise up. You can smell that patchouli and nutmeg and earthy spice, which gives an earthiness, the ground in this, you know, situation, the actual ground, but it's subdued. The overall vibe is the floating angel. So the ground, the earthiness is just in the background. What this perfume embodies itself is the floating angel. It's so cloudy, modest, airy, and pure. I would also argue that this smells cold. Not too rich for summer, but it embraces the crystally nature of winter. It's funny, so for the 3 commodity scents that I have, Gold Minus, Velvet Regular, and Milk Plus, I made these little like concept drawings. This one's for Milk Plus, this one's for Velvet, and this is Gold Seal. It's just this angel girl with clouds around her, and her hair is glowing, and she's got like a flowy dress on. She's holding this, you know, like coniferous plant in her hand. Maybe there's like birds. Need I say any more? That's just the vibe of it. If you're worried about blind buying this, I really wouldn't be. If you're interested in, you know, sweet vanilla scents with like the patchouli isn't even offensive, you barely even notice it. Some people say that you can't smell it at all, which is arguable. Maybe it's a tiny bit there. You know, it smells completely inoffensive, like I said, so this is a 100% safe blind buy. Some people might even think it's too basic or too simple, but I think there's such a beauty in how just light it is. Yeah, some people are upset over how it doesn't pack as hard of a punch as they expected, but you know, sometimes it's nice to have a perfume like that. And I'll get into why I think it's worth the money and the longevity / sillage part, which is the perfect segue, because that's the section where, oh my god, I connect the dots, brain. So I find that commodities personal scent space, obviously, well, it's supposed to be, you know, skin scents in that scent space. Personal is a skin scent. The expressive or regular version is like, you know, regular scent bubble, whereas the bold or plus version is supposed to fill up a room. So with this, obviously, you're not going to get too much sillage. And I find with commodity, their personal scents are actually really good with longevity, because think of it as this, like a bold scent might give out their all at once and then just fade away like a spark, you know, like all over the room, and then like it goes away in like 3 hours. This is just hypothetical. I don't know if that's the case with all really good, like clearly it's not, but anyways, this, like, it stays on your skin and it stays for a really long time. So that's the upside to, you know, an intimate scent bubble, is with commodity, at least it lasts a long time. It lasts quite a long time. With this, you get like about 8 hours, and then with the regular or expressive version, you get like, you know, all of 6 hours at most. It's interesting. Bold actually has pretty good lasting power, considering it's, you know, the filling up a whole room thing that I described just a second ago. But obviously, all the scents in the bold scent space have pretty funky notes, and, you know, aren't going to be for everybody, because you're going to be like stick out like a sore thumb in whatever situation you're in. The next category of the generalized review is the mood. So when would you wear this? In what situation? And why? Why I think that. So like I sort of alluded to in the other sections, I think this is 100% a winter fragrance. Why? Not even necessarily that it's, you know, a gourmand and all gourmands are supposed to be worn in the winter. Like, people categorize like thick, sticky gourmands as, you know, perfect for winter because in summer they'd choke you out. But no, like, this isn't too thick or anything for the summer. It's just that it embodies the thinness and the crispiness and the crystalliness of winter. I think if I wore this in the spring or the summer, it would just feel out of place. The vibe just wouldn't match. In summer, you know, I wear like, you know, solar types of fragrances, or maybe, you know, just really nice floral. That's just my thing. Coconut is one of my favorite notes ever. And also, the plus side to having a more intimate scent space is that it's going to be really safe for if you work, you know, at a hospital. I don't know about a hospital, but, you know, like a setting where you don't want to like choke people out with perfume in public and not really make too much of a statement. And it will last a long time. All right, the final category of this system is art / symbolism. So this is the part where I personify it. And what I get with this is literally Archangel Gabriel. If you don't know who that is, he is the angel who told Mary that she bears Christ. And it just reminds me of him. He has this strength to him, this really sharp ability to communicate effectively and powerfully. He's extremely powerful, bright and brilliant, and just has this amazingly enlightening energy. But at the same time as, you know, the powerful words that he says, he's very gentle, and he would never say anything to someone in a hurtful manner, effectively and directly, without hurting people. There's a beauty in gentleness, and there's a strength in being loving and gentle that he just embodies beautifully. And yeah, compared to other archangels in the biblical canon, like Michael, who like killed a Leviathan, and like Uriel, who like guards the underworld and freaking like is the angel of discipline, he's not like them. He's not as scary as them. He's an approachable type kind of figure. And I love him with my whole heart. I pray to him all the time. And if you ever need guidance on how to talk to somebody, if you need the courage to bring something up to somebody's face, or if you need help speaking to somebody in, you know, a gentle way that's not mean, or a way that doesn't cause any more problems, or just to avoid conflict in speaking to people or anxiety, then pray to him. It helps me, at least. Anyway, he's my guardian angel. As artistic pieces, every fragrance's artistic significance is in the eye of the beholder. I didn't say that in my last video and I got really mad at myself, but I say that with every video in the art and symbolism section because the ability of the human mind to interpret art in whichever way is significant to them is a beautiful thing. Not every piece of music or visual art or anything like that has to mean the same thing to everybody. And even if the artist intended it to mean something to them, that's their subjective truth. You know, everybody has their own subjective truth. All right, folks, time for Realgar stars. And if you don't care about arsenic mayhem and my little egotistical system thingy, then you can click off, and I understand why. I recognize it's my weakness, but arsenic has helped me through many dark times in my life, so she's very close to me. The first category of Realgar stars is the gender of the perfume. So arsenic's perfect sort of gender, like there's a spectrum in perfumes, like masculine and feminine. Arsenic's perfect gender in a perfume, her ideal, you know, unisex, but ever so slightly feminine, like just a little bit feminine. Like she doesn't like uber feminine estrogen in a bottle sense, but she doesn't also, she hates absolutely masculine sense too. Like, hello? The other two commodity scents I reviewed, Milk Plus and Velvet, were perfect. Like I gave them a 1 with gender because they were slightly feminine, but this one is slightly more feminine than those two. And I'll put the graph up for me editing, put that in because we're gonna need that. This is sort of like how I assess the score that it would get. But I gave this one a 0.8 because it's not perfectly slightly feminine. It's getting more towards that feminine side. These are the notes that contribute to a fragrance's femininity, and these are the ones that contribute to one's masculinity, and I'll also put some unisex notes as well, just so it makes sense to all of you. I just reapplied my lip stain. Do I look any different? How I basically came to the conclusion that this was slightly, why I gave it a 0.8 is because, you know, the vanilla is the strongest note in this. Let me keep on sniffing it. I'm getting a nostril to this anyways. Yeah, the vanilla is just so strong, and it's a really gourmand type of vanilla. So that would be a feminine factor. And you know, that earthiness, the nutmeg, which is unisex in my book, and the patchouli, slightly masculine or unisex-ish, but you know, those are like smaller factors. And the woodiness and the isoe soup, those are both unisex, but overall the feminine nature of the vanilla sort of beats them out. That's just how I interpret it though. The next category of Realgar stars is the notes. So how do the symbolism of the notes in this perfume contribute to how arsenic mayhem coated core aesthetic this perfume is? And I also have all 3 of my canvas, the analysis canva and both of the ones I have for my perfume analyses, linked in the description. So if you want to look at, if you're ever interested, you know, check them out. But yeah, I have all my note symbolisms on the analysis page, and that's basically how I come to these conclusions in my videos, in case you didn't know. So I explained that vision I got of the angel floating off the ground, her just aura that she has that's completely magical and ethereal. The 1 star for each category is a perfect score because there's 5 categories, and at the end they would add up to 5 stars. In a perfect perfume, it'd have 5 stars. And the only way I would take away points in the notes category is if something is contradictory, or like some thematic significance in the notes is contradictory to who she is. And I wrote that. Well, this has earthy notes like the patchouli, which would normally contradict the theme of arsenic because she's an air and fire girly. And if we have earth in there, you know, that's a little bit of a monkey wrench. But like I said, in the art and symbolism category, the earth isn't really what this perfume is. Like the earth is just like what surrounds it, you know. If I were to personify it, you know, it's the angel and the earth is just below her. So I didn't think that was quite so contradictory. And I feel that the fact that this is very wintry just relates to how arsenic is so cold and unfeeling at times, and not even just in the depressed sense, just like in the cordial, diplomatic sense. That's another thing with Gabriel. He's very diplomatic and he won't show emotions. That's just the thing with angels in general. They're not hysterical or anything. Very diplomatic beings. There's a modesty to the notes in here. This is like just energy of modesty. The vanilla in this perfume relates to comfort. That's what vanilla symbolizes to me, like tried and trueness, reliability. And it's just such a comforting feeling in this perfume. Like in Sahar, I interpreted the vanilla in Sahar as being like the comfort of like realizing how hard you've worked and like taking control of things, like the comfort in that, like basically OCD energy. But this is just like a pure comforting energy, like just that type of knowing that everything's going to be okay. Normally also I take off points for fruit because fruit has this sort of sexual connotation which doesn't really relate to who she is, and it's like this desirable energy. I think of the phrase like low-hanging fruit. Like with juniper berries, I'm not taking away points because it's a winter fruit and it's not really one that you eat anyways. Like things like mango or like freaking apples and cherries are okay, but that's a long story. I'm not gonna explain. But like peaches, berries usually, coconut's okay because it represents craziness. Pineapple, just like all those, like that energy of fruit is just a no-no for me. Also citrus, I don't really tangle with citrus. Yeah, juniper berries just have a different energy to them. They're more modest. They're not as like out there as other fruits are. Woodsiness, I always say this in my videos because like all my perfumes have wood in them, but it represents this feeling of masculinity, and that's what like sort of saves Gold Minus from being completely feminine. There's like a little bit of unisex notes and also this woody masculine energy to it. Yeah, woods just represent like truth. ISOE Super is a type of synthetic wood, so that kind of plays into it as well. Amber, I always say, is like this adds warmth to whatever perfume is in question, so that adds a factor of fire. Yeah, I've already talked about the patchouli and the nutmeg as being just in the background, not part of it. Saffron also relates to fire. So yeah, those are the notes, how it relates to her, and my reasoning as to why I give this a drumroll, please. 1 in this category. I give it a perfect 1 star in the notes. The next category of Realgar stars is the names. So I take names very seriously. Most people just don't care about names at all, but I do. Like they wouldn't even consider names as a category at all. And then with commodities names, I always say this in my commodity videos, but it's literally just named after whatever commodities they're based on. So this is based on gold. It's nice that they do that. I don't know, it's cool, this gimmick that they have. All their scents are based on real commodities in real life. The names are quite charming to me, so I give this a perfect score. Gold Minus, you know, that negative anion or chemistry core thing that we got going on in the bottle. If this was book, however, since I hate books, like moss, since I don't really resonate with moss particularly, I'd probably take off some points, but I like gold. It's an element. It's shiny. The next category in my little system is the bottle. The other commodity bottles I've already reviewed. Very simple. I like the fact that each scent space has their own bottle. This is the minus scent space, so it's white and with silver letters, which I think is quite ironic and beautiful because silver is kind of like the counterpart to gold and it's called gold, so it's a little bit ironic, which I think is quite charming. That's kind of why I picked the gold personal version. I had my mindset on buying one of each scent space, and that's why I chose gold as my personal one, because of that irony. Pretty straightforward. It's a perfect 1 if I didn't say that already. Love the commodity bottles so much. Commodity's my favorite house. The last category of Realgar stars is the lore / marketing / I don't even know. So how does the company want you to think of this perfume? What do they want it to give? What are their intentions with it? And what is it based on? So gold is advertised as, and it's not interpreted by people as very like sensual or sexual or like other perfumes are, but like Velvet was, which I didn't like. It's advertised as this, this had innermost desires but made ethereal and barely there. There's something so beautiful about that to me. There's something really beautiful about that to me, the way that by it being this, you know, personal scent space, it's just pure and more modest. It's kind of like all the BS of wants and attachment, symbolically, toned down and just blown away by this sheer cold breeze. And with commodities marketing, I actually took away a 0.1 from both Milk Plus and Velvet Regular because there's something weird I didn't like about the marketing, but this one got a perfect 1 in that department. So why don't we add up all of the points? Well, we get a 4.8 Realgar star out of 5, which is pretty damn good. Go figure. I love commodity. They all get really good scores from me. Our friend Milk Plus got an 4.85, and Velvet still stands as king as having a 4.9, my signature for winter. And what I would pick as my signature for life if I had to pick one fragrance to wear for the rest of my life, I would pick Velvet. Sometimes I wear it and I just forget that I'm even wearing a perfume. Like, I'd be like, damn, I don't even smell it, but I am smelling it. It's just, I don't even realize it because it just becomes one with me, you know? If you've never felt like that with a perfume, it's quite a beautiful thing. Yeah, gold minus just makes me feel so enlightened and pure, and like all my attachments are just blown away by this. Nice easy breeze. Like, I know I said Cosmic by Kylie Jenner made me feel ethereal and light, but this really makes me feel ethereal and light, like so much. Just in a much more effective and extreme way than Cosmic did. Like, if Cosmic was, you know, a regular angel, this would be an archangel. You know, it's just a whole new level of purity. And I love it very dearly. Very special perfume to me, so thank you so much for watching. Check out the links in my description. I'd really appreciate that very much. If you subscribe as well and like this video. All the YouTuber BS that I never bother saying because I just don't feel like it, because I feel awkward and annoying, but you know, I said it anyways in this video, so freak you. As always, keeping you, and stay oh so proud of yourself.